creer en lo que aún no ves, reconocer el poder de los procesos, abrirle espacio a la magia en tu vida, amar tus ritmos, bajarle el volumen a las expectativas ajenas, ubicar la mente en el presente, que es un regalo, y vivir cada día con la certeza de que no importa cuántas veces nos caigamos, pues más importante es cuántas veces nos cuestionamos. Mucho gusto, yo soy Angie. Soy buena escuchando, pero aún más preguntando. Gracias infinitas por estar aquí, donde te abro mi corazón y si me lo permites, te voy a mostrar el lado dulce de la vida. Hi everyone and welcome to El Lado Dulce de la Vida. I'm so happy we have a new episode in English because I know you guys have been asking me for them too. And I'm more than glad to introduce you to Benjamin. I'm very lucky to have him here with us today and talking about habits because we're getting started with 2026. And when I get to meet him, I was like very impressed about not only like his discipline, but also that kind of mentality. So we're here to learn a lot and get inspired from him. So Benjamin, welcome and thank you.
Thank you for having me, Angie. I'm excited. We talked about doing this a long time ago and we never did it. And so I'm glad that we're getting to do it now.
Yeah, I think it's like the perfect timing. And yeah, it was like maybe on May or something.
Yes.
Oh, thank you, Benjamin. So can you please tell the people a little bit about you, like who you are, how do you describe yourself, and also like what makes you so special?
Okay. Well, to start, I don't think I'm that special,
Oh
but
no, you are.
a little bit about me. Um, I have been uh, all around the logistics industry for about 20 years now, and exploring and learning and doing different aspects of logistics. I started as a project freight forwarder, moving oil and gas supplies because I'm based in Houston, so they make a lot of those here. Um, and throughout the years, I've done ocean freight, air freight, import, export.
Wow.
During COVID, I got cabin fever and decided to leave the company I was with for 15 years.
Oh.
And I started a hotshot trucking company and I drove around the US while everything was shut down. Um, and then I came back and I focused on doing some more import and customs brokerage in the US. And that's what I'm doing now is freight forwarding and customs brokerage.
Okay, that's very cool. However, I think you forgot to mention like something very nice from you, and it's like kind of your lifestyle in terms of where you live, but you have like your kind of chickens or I don't know.
Okay. Yes. So one thing that I started doing, a couple of years ago, it doing a cold plunge in the morning became popular, and I hate I hate cold water.
Wow.
And but I was intrigued by what people said about doing it. Everybody that says they do it described it like a miracle, like just what it does for you. And so I tried it and I instantly fell in love with it. Um, and what I do is in the morning, straight from warm bed, I go into the cold water and Um, cold water, it depends. In Houston, it's difficult to make cold water. So in the summertime, I think my water is not as cold. In the wintertime, it's easier and can get colder. So, um, I normally use Fahrenheit as a measurement, but I would say In the wintertime, the water is somewhere between 5 and 6 degrees usually. And what I do is I go in for 3 minutes. I just start a timer and I literally jump in there. I sometimes stand there looking at it for a few minutes and then I just go straight in. I don't dip a toe in, I just go straight in. And when I get done, I don't need coffee. I still drink coffee because I like it, usually a couple
Mhm.
hours afterwards, but I mean, it wakes up your entire system instantly. And it does a lot of other really cool things like um, help regulate your body. When you get in cold water, all of the blood that's kind of on the surface level of your body instantly gets pushed into the core of your body. And that process, it's like a muscle, and it's good to use that muscle. In the wintertime, I can go out in shorts and a t-shirt and not feel cold for like an hour because
When
my
you're
body can
trained.
adjust faster. Yeah.
Okay.
So I I really enjoy doing it. Also, this psychological benefits, it's not really pleasant doing like while you're doing it. It feels really good afterwards, but getting yourself to do it is a challenge. And if you do that challenge first thing in the morning, it makes the rest of your day feel like you can do anything because you already did the hardest thing of the day.
Wow. Okay, that's impressive, actually. Oh, thank you for sharing it. I think that was like something I was very curious about. Like, how did you get to do it? I mean, why? It's not comfortable at all. But one thing I have really like read in several books and also like heard from, like kind of mentors and everything is like you need to put yourself under this comfortable being uncomfortable and also kind of push your limits because that's the way you actually grow. Like we usually kind of wait for the life to have some crisis, or like we wait until we get sick or something like to change. But when we have this ability to make the decision to do hard things, then something starts like changing in our brain. And our brain is actually like very connected to our health and how we feel, and the way we feel it's connected to the way we connect to people, and the way we connect to people it's also the way we attract the things to our life, and our energy also like allow us to live kind of the life we're building. So when we see it's not only just like 3 minutes habit you're doing, it's like you're changing your life. But doing something like this. Have you realized about it?
Yes, and I do want to bookmark something that you said, which is the attraction and what we are seeking and what we are not seeking, because I want to at some point spend a little bit of time listening to you and the visualization and some things of manifestation. Our first conversation, I really enjoyed hearing about that.
Oh, that's very cool. Yeah, I remember like we talked about the vision board. And actually I show you my vision board. Like it was more
Yeah.
focused on having like pictures of doing the things, not exactly like getting the results, but doing the things like that will actually connect you to that kind of activities, or that kind of feelings. And then the results is just like that's fine. But the good, like the process, that's amazing.
Yes. Okay.
Benjamin. So we wanted to call this episode like Direction Over Speed because I really think you're a very focused person and you have very clear like what kind of goals do you have, what kind of things you want to achieve, and you're like very determined and disciplined. So I would like to hear a little bit about it, like where does this come from? Maybe like from your childhood, from your parents, or maybe it's something that happened in your life that changed kind of your mindset and you became that kind of person. And also, if you think there has been something like that has impacted you so much that help you like having this kind of transformation in your life.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to start with the last question, and because I think it for me it started. I read like a self-help book
Mhm.
in college, and it really opened my eyes. I didn't read much, in school except what we have to read, and somehow I've read this self-help book, and it pointed me on a journey that I haven't stopped since then. I read a lot of self-help books and try to be aware of patterns and um, just what we bring into our lives and what we push out of our lives. So, and with that, I came across, a few people that I really always enjoyed reading their stuff, and a few a few things we have are talking about habits and talking about goal setting or the opposite of goal setting. Which one would you like to start with?
Let's go with the second one. It sounds very interesting to me.
The opposite of goal setting.
Yes.
Okay, I like it too. It's it's um it's sounds weird. And the first couple of times I did it, I just had to do it. I didn't really understand it. I just kind of went through the motions and did it. But after the second or third time doing it, I started to understand it. And I think the easiest way to explain it is it's exactly the opposite of goal setting, and it's called fear setting. And the idea is to recognize what fears are holding you back from obtaining your goal. And you can do this on an annual basis. You can do it on a quarterly basis. You can do it on a monthly basis. And doing, maybe larger things on an annual basis and smaller things on a more frequent basis, whether it's quarterly or monthly. But what it is fear setting. The first part of this is the what if analysis.
What if?
So,
Okay.
mhm. So you have three things: define, prevent, and repair. And all of these things, all of these three things, you ask yourself, what if this were to happen? And in the first phase of define, you list the absolute worst case scenarios that
Okay.
you're afraid of. And you try to be as detailed as possible and make them big and scary. Um, Instead of, if I try this new thing, I'll go broke, instead, maybe write something like, I'll lose my savings and have to move back to my family's house.
Okay. Like the
You
very
know,
worst scenario. Okay.
yeah. Then the second part is prevent. So for each of the nightmares that you listed,
Mhm.
next you list ways of preventing those nightmares. So anything that you can do to decrease the likelihood of that nightmare happening. And then the third part is repair. If the worst case scenario did happen, how could you fix it?
Okay.
So, how could you fix it by yourself? Who could you reach out to help you? Um, you list everything that you can to reverse the nightmare. Does it make sense?
A lot. Because
So,
sometimes it's kind of easier to think on the worst scenario than thinking about a bad scenario. So it could be easier like doing it this way for some people. I'm not sure if for me, but maybe for some people that are more like easy to find the worst case scenario, this technique would be absolutely amazing.
yeah, I think so. All of the
Mhm.
people that see the glass half empty instead of the
Mhm.
glass half full.
Yes.
Um, I guess to give an example
Mhm.
of um, how this process works, let's take the case of an imaginary entrepreneur who's, you know, thinking about taking a trip. They have started a business and, it's going well, but they're burnt out because they've spent so much time in the business and they realize they're doing what they wanted to do, but it's slowly killing them inside, right? They can't get away. And so
Mhm.
they've been fantasizing about taking a trip, but they have all of these nightmares about what will happen if they leave their business and take a trip. So for the fear, the first the first part about defining the fear, you would say, my business will fail, I'll lose my income, my house will get broken into and vandalized while I'm away on this trip. You can write all of the most uh, all of the worst possible things that could happen, you know. So that would be defining the fear. And the next part is the repair. How could you repair if you your business fails, you lose your income, your house is broken into? Okay, I can do some job again to make money. This is how I can repair. I can maybe take a job bartending or doing something that isn't my main business to recover if this worst nightmare should happen. Um, and then, as you're writing these down, you can also rate them on a 1 to 10 scale. How likely are these things to happen, and how detrimental would it be? So, um, after doing this exercise, this um, fictitious entrepreneur realized that his worst case scenario was maybe only a 3 out of 10. And and that's to the bad side. The upside, getting freedom and claiming some of his mental health back was a 10 out of 10. So you weigh the downside and the upside, and taking this trip is a 10 out of 10 to help. And the downside is maybe a 3 out of 10. So using this analysis, it does a few things. In the background, it helps you realize what you're afraid of, and then it helps you take steps to prevent those things, and then you're not afraid of them anymore.
Wow. I think it's deeper than it seems to be, you know? Because, uh-huh. No, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it is. It is because the first time, like I said, the first couple of times that I did it, I didn't really fully understand it. And I tried, but then I think it was the third time that I did it. I really understood the benefit and the value um, of doing it because it does kind of reverse engineer your goal setting, and it helps you figure out what things you need to do in order to continue to pursue your goals.
Mhm, mhm. I see it that way. And I find it like really interesting because I remember like hearing a theory from someone actually from Medellin, and he focused on studying the brain and also a theory that it's kind of similar to being obsessed with something, but he called it being like I don't know how to say it in English, but it's actually like obmocionado, which means like being obsessed, but something like more positive, and kind of playing with the brain and the hormones and the way your nervous system works, because when your brain it's feeling in danger, then it activates like some parts where you are like fighting and you're waiting for the tiger to come here, so like you have more energy, so it kind of uses this um worst case scenario to actually set your goals and being so determined because you don't have any other way. I mean, if the tiger is coming, you need to fight. You need to do something about it. So it makes a lot of sense to me, and it should be kind of related with this part of the brain that it's like more primitive, and that it's looking for saving our lives.
Right. I completely agree with that. The the second part of
Mhm.
this exercise is um, listing the benefits of doing what you want to do
Oh.
in your fear setting exercise. So the first part, it really focuses on all of the negative, right? The second part starts to build in the positives. You even if I am only partially successful in achieving this goal, maybe I don't achieve the entire goal, but I achieve some of the goal. What will I benefit? What will I gain from doing that? And some of these things that you list here can be like developing new skills. You know, um, if it's if you're a salesperson and you aren't really comfortable going up to a stranger and talking to them, and you do a fear setting exercise to address that fear, here you would list what are the benefits that I will gain from even trying to do this. And some of those benefits could be developing a skill of talking to a stranger. even if at the end of the exercise, you're still afraid to approach people and talk to strangers, maybe you're less afraid because now you've done it a few times. And every time you do it, you can increase gaining confidence or clarity, or building new professional skills. These are kind of some examples of the benefits of attempting this fear that you have.
Wow, I love it. I love it.
So then
Especially,
go ahead.
no, I was thinking like one of the most beautiful things for me in terms of dreaming and achieving your dreams is the person you become. Because when you actually want something that it's big, you need to have a transformation. Like maybe you are not the same person after you achieve your dreams. You're someone else because you needed to develop some different skills, because you needed to change your mentality, because you needed to understand better yourself, to learn more about you and why, like where does this fears come from? Because that's the other deeper thing I was talking thinking about. Like it's not only like you recognize your fears, but also asking why and where do they become from. Maybe it's not actually your fear, but it's like your parents' fear, or it's like your your couple's fear, or it's your friends fear. It's not yours. Maybe sometimes we're just given this kind of fears and we just taken for granted for so long, and then when we do this exercise it's like, oh my god, wait, do I really believe this?
Yeah, that's a great example of, self-exploration and learning yourself. And what I heard when you said that is, some of the inherited fears from the people that we're close to all the time, your parents, your family, your friends. I feel like we do inherit some of their fears, even though they're not our own.
Absolutely, yes. Wow, that's very powerful.
So yeah, and then I just want to finish the last part of this.
Mhm.
And what I'll do is I'll send you a link to the exercise so
Oh,
that you can include it maybe in the notes on your episode. That if anybody's interested, there's a template that they can download. And I'm pretty sure you can translate it into any language. And it provides the framework if you want to start trying to do this. It has some examples and bullet points, and it helps you go through the exercise. So I'll send you the link to that. Okay.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Ben.
And the last part is something that we don't think of as humans. It's not a natural thing to think about, but what is the cost of not doing this? What what are you losing by not trying to do something? And this is where you talk about in 6 months, in 1 year, in 3 years, what will I lose if I don't try this now? And that the last part is called the cost of inaction, not doing it.
Do you have an example? Like, how do you
Yeah.
measure the cost of not doing anything?
Yes. So um, we understand the fear of the risk of taking the action, but we ignore the massive cost of not taking the action. Um, so let's see for some examples. Um, I don't actually have anything great for the third part right now. Um, and I don't have my notes on like my last one that I did. Um,
But I think I have one with myself, you know,
okay.
like I was kind of struggling with some like health situations. Like I was very, oh my God, why? I mean, and I was feeling at the beginning like feeling very bad, but then I realized I had the opportunity to transform myself and learn from that process and get better and get new skills. But one thing that really has helped me, it's asking me that, like what happened if I don't act today, because like the doctors say like, okay, if you don't do something right now in 15 years you could have like this kind of disease. So you have now, you need to start now, because then you have your cost in 15 years, or maybe, it could be before, it could be after, um and it could be more expensive, and not only in terms of money, of course, in terms of money too,
Oh,
but
yeah.
also like in terms of the time that you depend on something. I would say
Yeah.
that could be an example,
And
maybe.
I mean, I think generally, to give some kind of example is, let's go back to maybe a young salesperson
Uh-huh.
that does have a fear of approaching a stranger and talking to them.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so the cost of inaction in that example would be that 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 3 years from now, I will still have this fear and I will still be in the same place as I am today. So the cost could be the promotion that you're looking for in your sales role, advancing your career. These are the hidden cost of not addressing and tackling your fears so that you can achieve your goals.
Wow, powerful.
Yes, I do really enjoy that. So I also wanted to talk briefly about habits because getting into a healthy routine is so powerful. You, I don't think, you understand or you realize how powerful habits and routines can be until you start experimenting and trying to change them. Whether you want to take out a bad habit or you want to bring in a good habit, once you start building these habits and routines, they are so powerful. I mean, to give an example, like the Olympic swimmer Michael Phelps,
Mhm.
he did the exact same routine every single day, the same routine, because to perform at that high level, you have to be in your zone every single day. And by doing the same thing every day, when you stop swimming and you sit on the bench and you take your goggles off, he would literally put his goggles to the right, his swim cap to the left, the exact same routine every single time, so that no matter where he was, everything felt natural, everything felt normal, no matter where he was.
Wow.
And getting into routines can be hard. I think that if, every new year, we all say, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to eat healthy, I'm going to do, we list out all of these major life changes that we want to do. And we build them up to be so big that as soon as we fail one time, then we tell ourselves, I didn't do it. I failed and now I'm going to stop trying at all. So I wanted to give some tips about
Okay.
how to avoid that.
Okay.
Okay. And the first thing is making your new goal so small, so tiny that it's impossible for you not to do it. If let's say that you brush your teeth every day, but you don't really like flossing that much, and you don't floss your teeth every day. Maybe when you feel extremely motivated, you floss your teeth, but you want to get in a routine of flossing your teeth more often. Instead of doing every single tooth in your mouth, start with one tooth. Floss one tooth a day. Make this your goal, just one tooth a day. And then you minimize that you minimize that goal to where it's not some big thing that if you wake up and you brush your teeth and you're rushing and you don't have time to floss, the next day you think to yourself, I already broke my routine, my habit, and now I'm just gonna have to start over. But just make it smaller.
Mhm. Yeah, that's something I read on this book from Atomic Habits, I think. Habits, Atomic Habits. Yes,
Oh,
that's a
Atomic
very,
Habits.
yes.
Yes. I've read that book too.
Yeah, it was very good when it talks about starting little, like so slow, so small steps that you don't even realize you're doing something different. Because it's just like our mind trying to protecting us from doing something different that could hazard us or something like that, I would say. So when we do these very small steps, like we get to, get used to it, and our mind didn't even recognize what's going on.
Yes. Yeah, and the flossing the teeth was a weird example. Let me make maybe a better example, like the gym. Let's say that we had a New Year's resolution or an idea to start the year with doing 1 hour of gym per day,
Uh-huh.
right? Like this is our goal. We want to do 1 hour per day, and let's say 5 days a week. If we get into a day that we're busy with work or we're busy with personal life and we don't have the time, we don't have that 1 hour, what what should we do? Should we not do anything at all? Or should we say, well, I have 10 minutes that I can do something, and just reducing the size is better than completely abandoning the goal. So instead of doing 1 hour, I'm going to do 10 minutes. This is an example of making the goal smaller so it's more attainable. And then when you start getting into these habits, you realize that you start building your day and everything kind of starts taking shape around these habits and routines that you have created.
Mhm. And you made me think about like sometimes the most important thing you can do for a habit, it's not the habit itself, but the first action that it's associated to doing that habit. Like it's not actually like exercising, but driving to the gym, or it's not actually like brushing your teeth but actually going to the bathroom, like when you
Hmm.
already did it, or when you put your gym clothes, then I mean, what are you doing with your clothing robes? You need to to exercise. So it's not necessarily like you put yourself to do that action, but start associating like some activities to actually doing that habit.
I love it. Yeah. I think that the morning is a very important time, right?
Oh,
To build it kind of sets the tone for the rest of the day. And we talked about my mornings. I do something that I really don't want to do right away, and it
right.
kind of helps do anything else that I need to during the day. Um, which I'm not the cleanest person, like cleanliness, you know. I might find myself throwing the dirty clothes on the floor instead of putting it in the hamper, which is a stupid thing to do because the amount of time it takes to throw it on the floor, you could
Yes.
easily throw it in the hamper, right? And it's these small things that I sometimes struggle with. And one thing that I started doing because I used to never make my bed in the morning,
Oh,
but I started making my bed in the morning. It literally takes maybe 3 minutes. It's so easy. Then I found just doing that one little exercise helped me bring that cleanliness throughout my whole day. If I saw a plate sitting out, I'll put the plate up. If I saw, something
mm,
here or there, it helped me get in that mindset. It's very easy. This isn't going to take long. Just do it.
mhm. Wow, I like it. You know what? I was thinking, like, I think you know Joe Dispenza, right?
Joe Dispenza?
Mhm.
No, I don't.
Okay, I think you will like him. He has
I'm
like
gonna write.
very great interviews on YouTube, and also he has like several books. I haven't read anyone yet, but I do listen a lot of interviews, and I love when he's talking about making a change in your life because he says like your personality creates your personal reality. So I love it because sometimes we get to effort a lot ourselves and we push a lot like, hey, you need to do it. You need to do it. You need to be disciplined and you need to do it. And maybe it's something like that it's trendy. And we don't thinking if it's actually aligned to us, if that's something we really are interested in having or not. We just like don't question if something that would actually help us and if it's something we like, we are, yeah, like kind of related, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So when it comes to changes and before doing my vision board, actually I like doing an exercise which is how do you say that in English? I would say it's like the polar star or something. And it's basically like you start describing yourself. So in terms of asking and say like, okay, I want a new card, I want I don't know, this trip or whatever, like you start saying like okay, so I'm Angie, I'm a super happy person, I'm very kind, I'm very sweet, I love talking to people, I love making questions, I love taking care of myself, I really enjoy my tea in the mornings, I'm super committed to my dreams. Like I'm very disciplined, I'm very determined. Like you start describing yourself because your personality creates your personal reality. So as long
Mm,
as you are the person that achieves the dreams that you have, your habits won't feel like they are fake because they are actually coherent with your personal reality, like your personality, you know?
yes. I like that. It's like you're narrating, you are the main character of
Uh-huh.
your book of life. Yes.
Yes,
And
exactly.
you're painting the picture with words of who you are and what your
Uh-huh.
life is. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's
I
not
love
really
that.
like the car. It's like you're a very abundant person and you're very committed And then, as a natural result, you get your car. But it's not because you're attracting your car, it's because the person you are. Like, think about a millionaire maybe that just bought a new house. Like, are you actually behaving like the person that will achieve that car or that house or that relationship or whatever you want or that kind of health? Because it's not only like material, but also like spiritual sometimes. I always like pray for being calm and peace, that's also important for me. So it's not only material, but it's like having this kind of coherent, because otherwise like you need to convince your mind, convince your body, and then it's so hard to keep. It's so hard to keep because it's fake.
Yes, it is. So I I have a question. Do you ever do a mindfulness or meditation practice?
When I have done it. I am trying to do it like before going to sleep, but I'm not really like as I used to be maybe 3 or 4 years ago, where I was very committed every morning and I was awake because sometimes at night I just can't sleep and I don't remember anything. So I would love to do it again. Absolutely.
What it's also a practice that is, I think, very important, but we build it up to be this big thing where, again, if instead of doing 10, trying to do like 10 minutes of it, maybe just do 1 minute of it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Um, what was your experience with the practice?
It's incredible. And I was actually listening to Joe Dispenza like earlier this week, and it made me like a lot of sense because he explains when our bodies and our nervous system it's under a lot of stress and cortisol, then what it happens is like our body feels like we need to fight, so it's not able to create anything at all. It's not creating. So it's like you're closed, kind of closed in your body and everything. So when you start like meditating, I think the most impressive thing it's like you don't feel separated from what you dream or the calm you want to attract because you're already living it. You're already there. So that's the thing. I love it.
Nice. I think for me, it really, when I started doing it for the first time ever, it
Uh-huh.
helped me have that small space in between, um, you know, something happening and my response to what happened. It gave me that little break to take a moment and say, this is what happened. This is how I naturally would respond, but how should I respond? And it kind
Mhm.
of helped me make better decisions and maybe more rational decisions instead of going off the instinct or emotion that's sometimes associated with things that happen. And I
Like living
have,
the past. Uh-huh.
yeah, I have fallen off of my meditation practice. I haven't done it very much, and I think this is the perfect time for me to take this advice as well. Is start small and work up to something that maybe would be your goal. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and you can do it anytime throughout the day. You know, you can find 2 minutes anywhere in your day to take a break and let your mind and body be. and all of the distractions and all of the thoughts that are attacking you, you can push them away for a few minutes.
Hmm.
But I think the last thing that I would like to talk about is the title, Direction Over Speed. I love it because we can go fast and we can do many things, but if we're not doing the right things, then where are we really going? So I think this is I think I might try to incorporate this as a theme for this year for me is
Me too.
direction over speed. And there is a saying in the United States, slow is smooth and smooth is fast.
Hmm. But why smooth is fast?
Okay. Let's say that we're taking a road trip and
Uh-huh.
we rush. We don't check the mm, air pressure in the tires of the car.
Mhm.
We rush. We don't check it. Then we're driving on our road trip and we have a flat tire. If we would have spent the few minutes checking the air pressure before, then we wouldn't be stuck for an hour or 2 hours in the middle of the road, with a flat tire. So slow is smooth and smooth is fast because when you are slow and you're deliberate and you take the time to do the things that you need to do and do the planning and preparation that you need to do, things will go smoothly. And when things go smoothly, then you can accomplish things fast.
Mhm. Wow,
Does it make sense?
a lot. Do you think, Benjamin, like being on a rush every time, like every day, it's actually a habit too? Like we have become very addict to be on a rush every day, maybe?
I think so. I think so, especially living in a city. Everybody in the city moves so fast from one place to another place. And, you know,
Mhm.
I think that we do. I think it is the
Mhm.
habit of rushing.
Yes. Hmm. That's very interesting. I do think sometimes I'm like kind of always in a rush. I don't feel proud at all. It's like I'm very active, so I think I have a lot of energy. I can do more. But then more, it's not necessarily better because direction over speed. Like it's also important to select what's most important for you and for your peace and to for your well-being. Um, and as you say, slow, smooth, and smooth is fast. I love.
I love it. Yeah. I mean, and then it almost gives you comfort, right? Because if you feel like you have to rush all the time, well, now if you know that you're heading in the right direction, you can take a break and you can go slowly and you don't have to rush and you don't have to achieve the biggest goal every single day. If you know that you're in the right path and you're going in the right direction, you can take your time and you can enjoy it and you can let it build naturally.
Mhm. Exactly. Yes, you mentioned something that I have been questioning myself about. It's like we're always pursuing new dreams or new goals, but then when do we start enjoying them? Are we waiting to enjoy those goals? Like, have we realized we're actually living already our goals, the dreams we had maybe years ago, and then we have it now, but we are taking it for granted and we're not enjoying them enough. Um, so yes, I think we need to question more ourselves and actually look around and say, "Oh my God, I'm very lucky already." Like,
Stop and smell the roses.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like stop feeling like the things you want. are so far away from you because you're not. Like when we start enjoying more what we have and we work in ourselves harder than on those kind of things and putting a lot of effort and living in this kind of rush, eventually they will come to us because we are the person that gets like those things.
Yes.
Mhm. Oh, wow. Wow, Benjamin, this was so deep and valuable. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I think this will make a big difference for everyone listening to us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad that we actually did it, and maybe we can find
Yes.
some time again and maybe follow up sometime later in the year and see how things are going.
Yes, and you should considering like sharing this information because I think it's you're very good and yes, inspiring too. So
Yes.
if you
So
get to do it.
I have one goal for Angie this year.
Oh my
Try
God.
try cold plunge one time.
Oh yes, I want to. Yes, absolutely. It's getting popular in Medellin. I just need to check where to do it. Because I do want to have like kind of guidance, like these people telling you, okay, breathe, go it slow. You can do this. You can do it. I want that kind of guidance for the first time.
Yes. Yeah, it is shocking. First, when you get in there, your body wants to hyperventilate. The first thing that you want to do is like this. But controlling your breathing, slowing down your breathing, it helps your body adapt to the condition. So,
Wow.
okay, this is my goal for Angie. One time, you need to try cold
I
plunge.
will. I will. I promise. You have
Okay.
my word.
All right.
Oh, Benjamin, thank you so much. I wish we can have you other day here talking to and learning more from you. I am so glad we did have the chance to do it. And I wish you an amazing 2026.
Thank you. You too. And
Oh, thank
we'll
you.
touch base a little bit later on and see. I'm
Absolutely.
gonna see, did Angie do cold plunge?
And for
Okay.
everyone, we will listen in the next episode next Wednesday. And thank you so much for listening to us. Bye bye.
Right.